Greetings, YouTube. I'm going to link to a video, technically a TikTok short, that is actually being currently housed on someone's Tumblr. Yes, the internet is a convoluted place, and I'm not a TikTok user, but I am a Tumblr fan, and I poke around Tumblr every darn day. And I recently saw this particular video, which talks about toxic masculinity and how masculinity is portrayed as aspirational, and you can't ever achieve it. Why? Because everyone always thinks that the current state of masculinity is failing, that the men of the now are somehow lesser than the men of the past. And the person in the video makes a very cogent remark about baseball, that true fans of baseball will always tell you that at one point in the past, baseball was perfect, and that the baseball of today is less perfect. It has fallen from that state of perfection. And if you push them hard enough, you'll find out that the time in their lives when they thought baseball was perfect was when they were 12, before the scales of childhood fell from their eyes, before they began to realize that their heroes had feet of clay, before they became aware of the complexities of life, that no one is always virtuous, no one is always good, that we all have our dark and twisted sides. And the best we can do is strive to be great, strive to be good, strive to be moral and ethical. But we are destined to fail at that. And all of that is invisible to a 12-year-old. All they see are their heroes on that diamond in the green out there under the sun. And as they get older and they begin to encompass the reality of the world around them, all they have is that memory of perfection that never, ever existed. It was always in their heads because it was founded on the sand of ignorance. It could not stand. And toxic masculinity is the same way. The person in the video makes the comment about how every 10 to 20 years it rolls around where people start saying that, masculinity is at risk. And he comments about it, it goes back 2,400 years. This has been a tune that has been played over and over again. Men are always in a state of masculine decline because they're all cleaving to that childhood image of perfect masculinity that was always a myth. It was always a folklore that they told themselves. And as they became adults and they come to understand that that is not reality, they did not lose that memory of that perfect masculine moment. And so they always say, well, that back there was perfection. And obviously today it's not perfect. And they'll also almost always blame this on women as well, say how it's their fault. Because, if you're going to be having toxic masculinity, misogyny and sexism can't be far behind. Go look at the video. The person is very well spoken and it's quite informative. And let's have a discussion about how so much of what we think is perfect is just the ignorance of youth. And when those scales slide from our eyes and we begin to understand the true complexities of the world, suddenly things aren't quite as bright and shiny.